right. Good evening, everybody. Looking forward to this, and let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nathan Crawford, and I have been a member of the Card Guys for about a year, and been playing Runeblade for uh, probably year and a half now. Not too proud of that, but that's how it is. And I'm super excited to bring you guys this strategy and be able to basically take your Runeblade game to the next level. But it's not just Runeblade, right? It also will apply to a lot of different heroes in a lot of different ways. It's just after I explain it, you'll see how to apply it to other heroes. So let's go ahead and get started. The goal of this is we're going to spend about 5 minutes or so just like loosely going over to the strategy, and then we're going to play a couple games, probably one or two, and then we're going to re-go over the strategy a little bit, just another like quick 3 to 5 minutes, just in case anybody else joins, so they're not like left out, kind of thing. And we're going to play some games. I'm going to do it live, so that way you guys can like fully understand how easy this is to do, because it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, in application, if you try it a couple times, it's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and get started. So I made the claim that we are going over an anti-brick strategy, primarily for Runeblades. Okay, so let's go over that. What we're doing is, I was watching a movie called 21. For those of you who don't know, it's a blackjack card game, card counting video. And I was like, man, I wish I could apply that to Flesh and Blood. And turns out you can. And that's exactly what I do. So the thought process behind what is card counting? Card counting is a statistical process on how to estimate or hedge against what could be coming or not coming in the lower part of your deck. Okay, now how do we do that? That's the ultimate question, right? Well, first we have to assign value to cards. Okay, so we're going to stick with Runeblades for the most of this, but you can easily see after I explain it how to apply it to others. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply attack action cards a value of +1. Okay, and then we are going to apply anything that is not an attack. So this would include D-reacts, this would include lightning presses, anything of that nature. Anything that is not an attack, literally, not just non-attacks, anything that is not an attack has a value of +1. Attacks are -1. Anything that's not is +1. Okay? And what we're doing is, anytime we see a card via draw, we keep a running count of a number. Okay? So, for example, we draw a hand. It is 3 non-attacks and 1 attack. Okay, so that is a value of +3 and -1. Okay, so 2 of them cancel out. So the net value of those 4 cards is +2. Okay, so what that tells us is that there are 2 more attacks in our deck than non-attacks. And if we keep that ratio in our head, then it allows us to make data-based decisions later in the match to prevent the possibility. You can never fully prevent bricking, but you can drastically and statistically reduce it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so first we have to assign, like, what are we caring about, right? Do we start doing crazy lines that are inefficient because we have a -2 count on the deck? Definitely not. So the threshold that I like to look for is about on the plus or -5 side of things. Okay, so if you get to +5 or -5, I like to basically just start making possibly inefficient lines to get certain cards in Arsenal to basically have a certain outcome. Okay, so what we are doing is we have to establish a starting count. Okay, and what do I mean by starting count? Well, you have to start with a number, right? And so logically it would be, okay, you start at 0, but that's not the case, right? So I run my Briar deck at a 30-30 split, 30 attacks, 30 non-attacks. So my starting number would be 0 because the number of that remains in the deck is equal at the beginning of the game. The Brody Spurlock list on Arsenal Pass, he said he preferred like a 32-28, favoring non-attacks. So therefore, his count would start at -4 because he has 28 attacks and 32 non-attacks. So therefore, you just take the delta or the difference of that, and that is your starting number. Okay, so that's just. Oh, and what happens when you shuffle? Okay, when you shuffle, it's super easy. You just count the graveyard, what's in your hand in Arsenal, and Banish Zone, and start the count over after you shuffle. If a card goes in the pitch zone, we do not discount it in any way or anything like that. That is not the case. Okay, so once it's counted, it never gets uncounted. Okay, because this is only a first cycle thought process. Okay, because once we get to second cycle, you should know what's there. Or if there's 4 non-attacks, it's because you put them there, right? So we're going to get straight into a game. We're not going to waste any more time. Like I said, I just want to make it real quick, give you the premise of what we were doing and what we're going to be going over. And I'm going to just play some games on Talishar and kind of not only just, stream a game and talk about it and stuff like that, but also go over things like just the count and how I do it and how simple it is once you really do it. So I already got my deck list, so we'll just go ahead and hop in and see what happens. So this is the list that we're going to be running today. Feel free to later pause the video, get the list. That is all you. A couple things of note. I do run yellow Rabbles currently. During this stream, I'm going to be testing. Would that be better if it was a yellow snatch or not? That's something that I'm currently. What's up, Ed? What's going on? Congratulations on the kid, my man. So that's one thing that we're going to be working on is the consistency of the natural go again on the Rabble better than the on-hit effect for snatch. So every time I see one, I'm just going to ask myself, in this situation, would it be better if it was a snatch kind of thing? I am going to try out the Talisman of Warfare on Tarek's list. I think the thought process is extremely valid. Okay, so we have a Briar match first. So that's pretty straightforward. We do throw in the Runics because I place them at a much higher value than Command and Conquer because they typically have the said Crown of Providence, more than likely, unless they're on some crazy build. As far as first or second, I don't think there is much advantage to either one. As crazy as that sounds, basically, if you go second and you get a really unfortunate hand, it can put you pretty far back. But if you go first, you can always see a mage, which isn't the worst. But with my consistency on my deck, having the Rabbles, I'm going to prefer to go second because I think me having a strong hand out the gate is very likely. So let's go ahead and hop in the game. Okay, so like I said, my deck is a 30-30 split. So therefore, we are starting at a value of 0. We're going to draw a first hand. We're going to do our plus minus. Remember, attacks are -1 and non-attacks are +1. So this is very simple. We have 2 non-attacks and we have 1 attack, or 2 non-attacks and 2 attacks. So our count is still 0. We have an even split in our deck. We're not going to think about it anymore. We're going to go about our business. Remember the number 0. That's all we're doing. Okay, we have a more aggressive version here. We have a Crown of Dominion. Pretty easy there. I like giving the Lightning Surge here, possibly the Earth Lore, although that does leave the Bramble Spark vulnerable if we give up the Earth card, whereas if we draw any blue, we turn on Earth Lore Surge, so I kind of like that more, and I don't want to give an embodiment here, so we're going to block probably just here. Give an even block, and if we draw blue, we're in real good shape. Yep, and we'll go ahead and secure the good Arsenal target. So we'll give him the 2 non-attacks, which is perfectly fine. Is this blackjack? Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. That's for sure. Okay, so here we go. This is, like I said, if this was Yellow Snatch, this would kind of be somewhat depressing because we don't have the natural go again. So the line here is going to be straightforward. We're just going to make a rune chant. We are going to play to turn on Rosetta. We're going to swing the rabble. Hopefully hit it. That, okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I'd rather have a Yellow Snatch, right? That happens. Super unfortunate, but it is what it is. We definitely do not draw off a force of nature. That is a fact. Yep, deny the embodiment, smart move. I'm gonna prioritize keeping this over. Also for our draw, so we kept the lightning surge in our hand when our count was 0, and we played a force. We pitched a force, and we played a rabble, which is 2 non-attacks, 1 non-attack. So that means our deck is now at a value of 1. So we have 1 more non-attack than we do attack. Okay. Which currently that means nothing, but... Okay. Force and channel. Okay, in this situation... It's actually difficult without embodiment. I think running the risk of letting him draw, knowing that there is, like if he had Crown of Providence, he could just put anything in Arsenal. More than likely, it'll either be another attack for 7 or... this is actually tough because we only have 5, 7, and our count is 3 non-attacks. We're back down to a value of 0. Or sorry, we're at -1. No, we're at plus 3 now because we have 2 non-attacks and these cancel out. So our value on our count is now +3, which means we need to be prioritizing arsenaling non-attack actions is what that translates to. So I'm going to let this hit. We have the channel. I think it's our only way to... And if he has a snatch here, that's super unfortunate, but obviously he doesn't if he's going to grasp. Yep. So we get Rosetta here, which is the best possible outcome, which is great. We're also going to take that. All right, we're going to play our own little mountain. Okay. We are going to... Ooh, we do not... Yeah, we go ahead and swarming because we need to... We need to see what we're getting. Okay, so this is good. So we can go ahead and get this. Okay, so this adds to our count, or subtracts because it's an attack. So now our deck has been shuffled. So now we just recount. We go through here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards visible. And attack-wise, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are at a -1 currently. Okay, so here with the embodiment, I think it's safe to just E-strike, draw a card. Kind of like that. Kind of hedges against the I guess the unknown as far as the rabble goes. Could hit a blue again like we did before, which was super unfortunate. We also drew this, so that gets us back to even. So now the deck count is actually at, if I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the E strike's not in the grave yet, so that's 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we are at +1. +1's the count. I'm going to go ahead and see. I'm going to get a little greedy. Go and play this out too. Okay. This is good. Unfortunately, we don't have the tunic counter. Tunic counter would be great here. But this evened out our count. We were at a +1, and now we just took a attack off of it, so that's -1. So now we're back to 0. So now we don't have to prioritize anything. We are good to go. All right, and we're just going to pass here. There's no reason to play this out. I guess we could get CNC, but we have the protection there. So I'm just going to pass turn here. All right, so what's the tech to never brick? Or was it just clickbait? Okay, so I already went over it. But after this game, I would love to spend like 3 to 4 minutes and like re-go over it, basically. Okay. All right, that's why we did not play this. Okay. That is the reason. Straightforward. That is why we did not do it. So we're obviously just going to force, and then we're going to tome, because this is unacceptable. We can't be having that, right? In fact, I'm tempted to Crown of Providence one of the forces away to further increase the chance, because we're already guaranteed the embodiment. Okay. So with this, obviously, we can't let this go. So instead of using the crown to filter away, we'll just block with it instead. And then we will force Tome of Harvest, because we are at a 1-2. We drew 4 non-attacks, which shifts our deck count to +4. So we are very likely to draw more attacks now because of our count. So we will pass the turn there. Of course, he snaps it and probably throws another snatch red on the end, if I had to guess. We don't care about this one. We take these all day. Okay, and we do our own little turn. We see what we get first before we play the force. Actually, I think we guarantee the fuse. So we'll go ahead and play the force and fuse. That's 1 damage. Could come in to be important. Who knows? All right, we'll go and tome. Very likely that we draw an attack, because we are at that count. Okay, and so we did, obviously, and we will leverage this a lot. So my initial line is we are obviously going to play the Entwine Lightning out first to get the blocks for the Force of Nature, and then I'm very incentivized to go ahead and play this round's on me after we play the Snatch and Snap, because we don't want to give them an extra card to block the Snatch with. We're not in that business. How many blue Sync Belows we playing? We're not playing any in this deck, but you know, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Different list, you know. All right, he's gonna let it hit. I'm not gonna fight him on it. That's a fact. Oh, he done messed up. All right. So we drew an attack, and our count. I didn't even count the last hand, did I? We drew. Oh, we were at a 0 when we toned. No, we were at a +1. So we drew 2 attacks and non-attack, so that's a wash. So we are back at 0. Then we drew the E strike, so that puts us at -1 is the count on the deck. So like I said, -1 to any like -3 to +3. We're not making any drastic changes. We're just going to play the game normally, the most efficient lines, and then once we start getting to that like 5 threshold is when we start really. Okay, didn't know what was happening there. So we're obviously going to snap this because we're going to draw 2 cards, which we love, and probably just close the game out. Oh, why we do it to him? Why we do it? Yeah, we'll just come in for 10. Why not? Yep. So that's a good example of, you don't have to be first to the mountain. You just got to climb the right one, right? Okay, so he is choosing to waste 60 seconds of our life by just disconnecting in rage, which is okay. So Um, all right. So we will go ahead and for those of you who were not here, we're going to quickly go over just real quickly so nobody's gotta hear it again as much. So the anti-bricking strategy is essentially card counting in blackjack. What we're doing is as we see cards, we're assigning a value of -1 to attacks and +1 to non-attacks. And what that does is it allows us to keep basically an ongoing count on the deck that anticipates our ratio and what we are more than likely to draw. Um, let me finish explaining before we jump into another one, so I'm not distracted. So we keep the count. So if we draw a hand, right, and it's 3 non-attacks and an attack, one of each will cancel out because it's +1 -1. But then the 2 non-attacks that are left would be +1 on each. So our running count on our deck after drawing that hand would be +2. No matter where those cards go, whether the graveyard, the arsenal, the pitch, doesn't matter. They are counted. They are from that point on just invisible, right? So we would have a count of +2. And then if we drew a hand of 3 attacks and 1 non-attack, then our deck, we do the same math. We go back down to 0 instead of +2. So that means after drawing two hands, our deck is back to a perfect split, assuming you started at a 30-30 split. If you start at a 28-32 split favoring attacks or non-attacks, whatever, you have to adjust the account accordingly. But that's basically the premise on the anti-bricking strategy. I think it was Fab Chile that was asking. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about specific, like there's a couple nuances, like poppers, for example. Poppers, in my mind, actually, I count them as non-attacks because basically you get more value when you block with them. So I don't actually consider them attacks because I don't want to throw them. Basically, so me personally, I count poppers as non-attacks in my counting if I'm playing against Stromine. So we'll hop into another game. Yes, so so if your count, say you're at a -5, which means you have 5 more non-attacks in your deck than you do attacks, you would start prioritizing basically arsenaling an attack as fast as possible, basically, is the thought process there. All right, so against Bravo, we are obviously going to throw in some D-reacts. Those typically do pretty good. Normally, I do think about our good old friend. We do play Sonata. Is that Michael Dalton from round 15 of 2021 Nats? Is that you, Michael? Good to see you, man. So we do run Sonata, and the reason that I was off of it for so long, I know you guys are thinking I'm crazy, but I'm going to go second against Bravo, and I'm going to explain why. That's the secret sauce in this matchup. I play Sonata now because if you whiff on Sonata, did you really want that hand? Ask yourself that. I mean, if just ask yourself, do you want 3 attacks in your hand? No. So Michael, if you Sonata, you just count your graveyard and what's left in your hand and your pitch zone and your banish zone, and you start the count over. Is what you do anytime you shuffle your deck, whether it be Remembrance, whatever funny stuff you're on. All right, so I'm gonna go second against Bravo, and I'm gonna explain why. I tell you what, tempo is a hell of a drug. That's why. And basically, as long as he doesn't have dominated choke slam or crippling or spinal turn 1, see, we just bought tempo for free. Free 50. So basically we can. So here we have 3 attacks, 1 non-attack. So therefore our count on our deck is -2. Okay, so we do need to, if possible, prioritize arsenal and attack, but we're not in that crazy threshold where we're making inefficient plays to do so. So here, I kind of like the CNC for 9 play because he did filter and he kept a card, which is very likely just a red power card or a D-React. But actually, the more I think about it, I think I'm just going to make a Rune Chant in CNC. Because I do want to keep this because our count is a little low. Not crazy low, but it's not that much more of an inefficient play. So this will still get 2 cards, which will protect us from like something serious, like crippling or something like that. So, okay, so we drew, like I said, we were prioritizing attacks because of this situation. We drew 3 non-attacks, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to hedge our deck. So we were at a -2 count because we drew 3 attacks and 1 non-attack. But now we drew 3 non-attacks and 1 attack. So now we're back to square one. Our deck is at 0. There's the same. Is the pitch counted again when you're at the bottom of the deck? So once you get to second cycle, you should know what's there, right? So the count doesn't matter. So we have a hammer for here. We never block those. I don't care what we have. All right, we got the red Arthur Surges in the deck for a reason. So let's go ahead and do the 2-step. We're gonna hit go again for 10, and then follow it with a Rosetta Arsenal that attack. All right, when you pitch the cards back into the deck, yeah, you don't change. Once you see the card, you never take it away or anything like that. It's just you've counted it, leave it alone. Doesn't matter where it goes. Arsenal, pitch. If you keep it in your hand, doesn't matter. Just count the new cards. Every card's only counted once. Yeah, when the deck shuffles, you just recount everything in the graveyard and the banish zone, your pitch zone, arsenal in hand, and restart the count once you shuffle your deck for Sonata or whatever reasons. Double sync below. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right, so our count is at 0. So we're safe. We're very likely to draw something perfectly fine, which we did. We don't have a blue, which is like sad 50. So what we're going to do is, it feels a little greedy, I know. But man, I want to do it. He has no pressure here. If we rip a blue earth from sinking the CNC, we're just in such a good spot. YOLO, right? It could have been worse. It could have been worse, chat. Could have been a lot worse. So we're gonna keep tempo, which is what we want. And if the top card is that blue earth that we were looking for, we are going to cry because it's gonna really hurt. Okay, it's an Entwine Lightning, which is a-okay. And I forgot we drew a CNC. Nimblism, those cancel out, these cancel out, but we drew the extra rabble. So now the count on our deck is -1. -1 is our count. Once again, not our number that we really care about yet. So we're just going to throw this next rabble out since we know it's a red. We're good. Keep applying pressure. He's taking this. Because our count is somewhat safe, I actually do just like playing the snatch out. Sometimes I get a little scared. Actually, he's keeping all of his cards. This blocks 4. Here's the secret against Bravo. You don't need Channel Mount Heroic to win this match. You just don't. You're more efficient. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to play somewhat inefficient. And, man, the CNC. See, if he CNCs me, I'm in a tough spot. But I think we have to snap here. Yeah, we got to snatch, snap, and then tunic counter Rosetta depending on what we draw. because he's keeping his hand. I can't let him just do it. So now the question is snaps worth a Rosetta swing? The situation, I think it is not. So we're going to Arsenal. And our account is at a -1. Yep, we're getting dominated here, which is crippling, dominated. Okay, so first question we got to ask ourselves is, why did we give up the heroic? No, we couldn't stop it anyway because we blocked with the crown. So we have 3 block here, and that's not enough. So we do what Rune Blades do best, and we don't block. Could have left me with that Earth Blue. Could have, but could be worse. Probably going to stuff this with armor, and if he does and does not give me a card, then I'm very likely to snap and play the Entwined Lightning solely for the sake of basically just getting an embodiment, because the count on our last hand was Autumn's Touch and Entwined Lightning, and Snatch, which is 4 attacks. So now our count is -4. So there are 4 more non-attacks in our deck. So we are actually getting in like bricking territory here. So getting the embodiment is actually going to mean a possible value of I mean, it could be anything. It could be what, a value of 4 if we draw all non-attacks. So this is strictly a move just to get that embodiment, which worked. So we are at a count of -4, which is bad. And look at that. We drew 3 non-attacks. So close call, but we got there. And we have a choke slam, which is obviously not ideal. And obviously anybody with any type of know-how knows that this is accompanied by our main man Pummel. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the hand in a way that, so we basically block 6, and then if he pummels, I can still 0 for 4 and maintain embodiment is the idea. So we drew 3 non-attack. Our count was -4, and now it is -2 because the net on this hand was +2. So we're going to keep doing some embodiment management and wait for him to get that glorious, just all crappy blue hand. This would be the hand to get the old embodiment. That's for sure. Okay, so we were at a -2, and we drew a net +2 because we have +1, +1, +1, -1. So it's +2. So we are back to 0. Our deck is back to even. Okay, so we have the dominate spinal with no. Okay, so this is solid. So what we can do here is we can block 3 and then give the armor, take 3, and we can get the channel out because we're getting a life total where we don't have time. We just simply don't have time. So we are going to go ahead and give it here. We got no value out of Tunic, which is not the best, but we're gonna make do. So we're going to go ahead and rip the channel out and go ahead and CNC for 9. Yep. That means he has something glorious. Okay. So our count was 0. Now we have 2 non-attacks, 2 attacks, so our count is still 0. So it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so we clearly have a pummel here, which is fine. We have an embodiment. It's not the end of the world. We need a situation where we can manufacture the need to not have go again. So we're going to block 6. And then if he pummels, then fine. We still have a good turn, and if he does pummel, we'll just drop the E strike and scar for 7. No worries. Yep. So we will discard the card that we have to. And this is where you just grind it out, right? So you're just trying to, okay, so blocking rid of the red, so he's probably got a choke slam in hand. Yep, okay. It's like I've played this match once or twice. Okay, so we have 3 attacks and 1 non-attack. So that moves our count from 0 to -2. If you do the math on it. Okay, so we need to stop this on-hit effect because we want to play the Nimblism. The unfortunate part is we can only do so... If we do it, we completely defeat the point of playing the Nimblism in the first place, which is super unfortunate. So... is there a better line? It seems there is not. What's the safest line? We can guarantee 6, or we can live a little and either come in for 5 or 7. Kind of like the idea of reaching for a break point though against Bravo. Blocks really well, so we'll live a little bit. Once again, our count is -2. Look at that. So -2. And, so at this point, I guess theoretically you could stop counting because we're at such a life total where you really can't, you have to play your hand the best way. You don't have any situation where you can kind of maneuver about. Wow. That is super unfortunate. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, I guess we go here and then here, and then Arsenal here. Tempts him to kind of make a play here, which is good. Never punished, right? Okay. Okay. Sorry, got a bit distracted. Okay, so he blocked the... Once again, we're not counting anymore because we have to play the hands in a certain way. We don't really have a choice. So that is how it be. Okay, and we are putting our only out in Arsenal, basically. It's the only way we can survive is by hanging on to one of those. So that's what we're gonna do. Yep, swinging Rosetta here is not really doing anything. That's why we never give this card up. But we do have the old 4 block here. Okay, so it's a very good situation. We can block 4 and then 3 and then cover it up completely and then put back on the pressure here, and then just start leveraging. But we actually have to give 1 more card. No, we don't, because we're using sync. What am I? You guys got to keep me honest. You guys got to keep me honest. And we're obviously not sinking anything because we have absolute gas. There we go here. The count of blue cards in the deck is kind of high. Although we didn't draw the 4 blue card on the channel turn. No, that was last game. So here we go. We're going to leak that 1. Get that embodiment that's oh so important. And that could have been worse. Okay, you don't like that? Okay. Yep. We got a... Now this is interesting because my knee-jerk reaction is to just play the Earth or pitch the blue, rabble Rosetta, and go to 1 here. And that'll present 3, 4 at worst, and then 2 and 2, which is 2 breakpoints. That should clean it up. And if we hit the rabble, then it's just game. Yeah, I like that line. This is why we play the yellow rabbles. This line right here carried me through ProQuest season. With a blue Earthward Surge and a yellow rabble, it's still a 3 for 10 with some blue and yellow cards. So this will get 1 more card, and it'll also put him to 1, which means we just win because we'll block 2, make a rune chant, and win. That's it. GG. So like I said, really at the end of the game, I just stopped counting because there was no point in knowing that data or that information point. So basically just make the decision off of that. And at the end of the game, it is what it is. So we'll go ahead and go straight into another one. Like I said, for any of us just joining, the anti-breaking strategy is card counting. Like blackjack, we're assigning attack actions the value of -1 and non-attacks +1. We're starting with a 30-30 split, which will allow us to maintain a count as we see the cards in our hand, no matter whether they go in the graveyard, the pitch zone, whatever, it does not matter. They are all counted the same, counted once, never again, unless the deck is shuffled. In the event that the deck is shuffled, you just count the graveyard, the cards in hand, arsenal, pitch zone, and banish zone, and restart your count. All right, here we go. We have a Katu. Man, this is going to be a match to know. Come shortly for sure. Putting in the sink below, Gorgtum can be a liability in this match. Can actually just get you killed. And for Sonata, I don't like to hedge on the event of an unknown variable. So I'm not going to play that in this matchup when I would rather just block. Yeah, so when I say non-attacks, I mean literally anything that is not an attack. Like literally. Lightning press, D-reacts, whatever. If it can't be thrown at the opponent, you can't just hit somebody with sink blow, right? You have to gently place it in front of their attack, right? We're only counting stuff that you can like physically hit them in the eye with. So here we have an even split. So we have a 2-2. Okay, so our count on the deck is still 0. All right, and we have, God, I hate Katachi, man. Oh, but I got this rounds on me. I'm about to mess this dude up. So we're going to take this one, obviously, because we have to. He pitched a red, though. Sounds like he's got personal problems. Okay. All right, we got something a little beefier, so I'm just going to block with everything except the best card, which makes sense, right? I do think it's interesting that he threw that. I'm not sure. Nothing. If he was on any fatigue plan, he would be using breeze riders, not scalers. So I'm just going to ignore that happened. Kind of caught me off guard a little bit. So we already counted this rabble, and our count was 0. So we drew 2 non-attacks and an attack, which is a net or delta of +1 because we have 2 non-attacks and 1 attack. So our count now for our deck is +1. So we're going to do the line that everybody knows. We're just going to play that rabble, make a rune chant Rosetta, right? Anybody that's played any amount of Briar knows this is just what you do. All right, he's going to have a flick flack here, more than likely. Maybe he's on that. That'd be something exciting to see. I haven't seen that card played in a lot, so. Ninjas just send, yeah, apparently. All right, so I did call the flick flack. It's like I've played this game once or twice. Once or twice. Love seeing that card back. So there was some validity to recognizing that there was a blue or a red on top of the deck, the Scar, to go ahead and jam out this Rabble since we know we have an attack anyway. But because he's getting the bonus on flick flack, fuck that. All right, so we're gonna make a rune chant Rosetta, get max value. 7 plus 5, that's what, 12 on 3 cards? Pretty good. So once again, our count is +1 going into the draw, which is something you have to memorize. So here we have -4. They're all attacks. So now we went from +1 to -3. So now we're starting to like, okay, no matter what, I need to end this next turn with an attack in arsenal because I really don't want to get whelminged. He pitched to Mugenshi? I'm going to say you ain't got the whelming, bro. You ain't got it. He ain't built like me. Told you. Told you. All right, so our count's -3. So what we're going to do is we're going to send whatever this comes out to, and then we're going to send another 7 and an arsenal that surge because we really need to make sure that we have an attack because we are at a -3. Yes. So knowing the count on the deck gives you a ratio that tells you what you should prioritize arsenaling. And at certain thresholds, usually about -4 or +4, I entertain the idea of taking a less efficient line to prioritize a certain arsenal type to make sure I don't break it on one side or the other. So currently, I'm making sure that I put an attack because I'm at a -3 count. Don't come ninjing. Somebody don't need no ninjing. If you guys haven't seen that video, go look it up. It had me dying. We do want an arsenal, of course. Okay, so we were at -3. So this count here is 3 more attacks and 1 non-attack. So that is a net of -3. So now we are at -6. Okay, this is why Briar players brick. Okay, because we are at a -6 count right now. So that means no matter what, I'm never playing this Lightning Surge. That bad boy is staying right there. No way. No way he's getting played. We're at a -6 count. That means there are 6 more non-attacks on the deck than attack action cards. Got my trusty mug here. Yeah, I know y'all like it. All right. So we're going to stop this smash trigger, obviously. We're going to try to anyway. It doesn't have combo. If he has Ancestral, he has it. Congratulations. He deserves it. So we're just going to sink, and we are going to get rid of the attack in our deck. So once again, this card's been counted. We're not going to recount it, but we are going to count the card that we draw off this sink, which is another attack. So now we're at -7. Right? That means we're in trouble. Right? We have to make sure that every line possible, we put an attack in arsenal. Number 1 priority. So we're going to take none because we are going to, well, we'll take a little bit. What could this be? Could this be a snatch maybe? Do we hold this? I don't like the other play, so we're just going to risk it. If he has a snatch, I'll give up the E-Strike and some armor and then just play the 0-4. No sweat. Yeah, I don't care. Okay, so we're at a -7. Tea, coffee, or bourbon? Man, I'm a coffee drinker. Like, I was in the Navy for a while, so anybody that knows any military folks We use and abuse that coffee like it's nobody's business. Okay, so we drew 3 non-attacks and 1, so we were at -7. So this is a net of +2, so now we're back up to -5. So we're getting a little bit out of the bad territory, but still not out of the woods yet. So here, I'm going to block with the Sink Blow, play the Earthward Surge, Rabble, Rosetta, but still bank this 0 for 4 in Arsenal because we're still at that number where I'm a little uncomfortable. So we're just going to block the 3rd attack with Sink, maybe some armor, depending on what the card is. Yep, don't care. I tell you what, guys, this is my first time ever streaming. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Believe it or not, this is very difficult. like interacting with chat, keeping a number in your head, playing the game to like hopefully peak efficiency or whatever. But you know, it's a doozy for sure. But it's fun. I enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. Raise me a Vietnamese coffee. I tell you what, man. I thought regular coffee was good stuff. Vietnamese coffee, that stuff wakes you up. It almost feels like I drink a regular amount of coffee, but it's like all espresso. Like, whoa, like hyped up on some Mountain Dew or something. So we have the perfect hand, so we don't want to filter. I do like even bigger than that. Yep, so here in this situation, he deserves the draw. I'll commemorate him for that. I do agree that oh, you're saying that the Vietnamese coffee is strong, not the even bigger than that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so he's already got the Katsu trigger and he's already got mass, so unless it's a whelming, we just don't care. And even then we still might it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I think we have to give it to him, right? Because our play is the net EV on the remembering. We're doing all this thinking while remembering our count is -5. Number still in the noggin, right? So our play is 5, hopefully 3, but could be 1. So at worst, it's 6 and then 10 on 3 cards, but could be a 12, which is like Wounded Bull territory. Yeah, I don't see any out to blocking this and having an efficient turn. So we're gonna give it to the homeboy. And he got a yellow Surging Strike. Hopefully he doesn't have a blue to go with it. Please don't do it to me. Just not this once. Let it be a red. Look at that. Look at that. Wounded Bull? How about Wounded Bull would go again? And a weapon to swing 1 for 4. Okay. Yeah, I'm a natural. I mean, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. This is the first time ever streaming. Just set up OBS like yesterday. Josh Lau, shout out to Josh Lau and Kyle Jones for helping me out. They got everything set up and good to know. Yep. So we're good there. Yep, flip flag. Sounds cool. Would it not be better to play the Lightning Surge here in Arsenal, the Rabble? I don't need the damage desperately. I have no, there's no like If anything, actually, the play that I should have made is I should have blocked with the rabble and then this armor here, and then just went ahead and ditched the lightning surge. Even though I'm at a -5 counter, I think not giving the card would have. That's close. It's close. We'll find out when I draw my hand. If I draw all my whole hand and it's all non-attacks, I'm just a genius. But if there's like 2 or 3 attacks in there, then I'm terrible. Chat. This is why we do it. It's moments like these. This is why I told everybody to come. Right? This is a disaster hand. But we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming because our count was -5. The count was -5. So now we're back up to a -1. So now we unload the hand in the most efficient way. And we're good to go. And we got some beautiful blocking cards. This is good time. This is why I tell you, Jeremy, I told you, if it happened, I'm a genius. If not, I'm just terrible. But I guess I need to go to the next level and play Dromar, right? I gotta get good. So here we're taking the same line. We're just gonna Earthward Surge all day. All day. We'll do that line every turn if we have to. Wounded Bull with go again? Yes, sir. Don't care. We'll block it. Deny that Katsu. You can snap it and do anything else you want. So our count is -1. -1. And we're going to grind the game out a little bit. Count is -1. We're coming in hot for 9. We did it, chat. We unbricked the brick. Bricks are for laying. They don't go in the hand. We did it. So the count is -1. And we're going to get this Rosetta swing in and just start running away with this game. He's giving up the Mask of Momentum now because he knows it's completely irrelevant. We still have lots of armor. We're in a good spot here. He is denying the embodiment, which is super unfortunate, but ask me if I care when he has 3 cards. Ask me. Okay, so this is even. We got 2 attacks, 2 non-attacks, right? So we're still at -1. But once again, the -1s, 2s, even 3s, it's like we're not making inefficient lines just to play around that. If it happens, it sucks, but we're just going to keep playing the most efficient lines we can. And we're going to let him do his Kadachi. Let's see. Hang on, chat. We can figure this out. We got a Kadachi take the tempo, right? Nope, there's only 1 left in the deck. I think he's got it. Kadachi take the tempo. That's what my money's on. Boy, I was wrong. Boy, I was wrong. I mean, the chances of him arsenaling this is actually pretty low, and I do like the idea of just denying. Because the line that I want to take is I want a Nimblism Snatch Snap Rosetta Swing with Tunic counter. Uh-oh, Cassie. Congrats. Congrats on that little squire. I had to look up what a young knight was, and that's what I came up with. So congrats. I'm happy for you guys. So I think I do want to block. He does have snaps. I just don't want him to go get a whelming. That's the real thing. I don't think he's got it. He's not built different. Chat. Apparently he's built different. But we're eating this one, chat. He can have the card. And if he draws the Natty Mugenshi, we're just And see, he's just gonna give me scales here if I block 4 on the armor. So I kind of want the game to end sooner rather than later. I don't want to keep grinding. So we're gonna just let this hit. He can have it. He can draw that blue fine center. Wait a second, chat. I messed up. I didn't realize. I thought for some reason the Katsu trigger had already happened. So he's just gonna discard whatever he drew if it's a 0 cost and go get a Mukinchi. We made a mistake, chat. It was a blue. It was a crappy blue. We meant well. Okay. Oh god. Okay. Let me read it. I haven't been hit by this card in a hot minute. So what we got here? If this hits, search your deck for a number of cards. Yeah, okay. So that's not happening. So we have to block 6 here to guarantee that, which means we got to give him everything. And yeah, super unfortunate. But that's my fault, chat. I screwed that up. I thought for some reason Katsu had already triggered. When I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, man, I'm wrong. You're right. That's a fact. So this is just gonna get one, crappy ninja blue and breaking scales more than likely, which is unfortunate. And with a 3-card hand being at 9, with no armor, this could get bad. I would say we're ever so slightly behind if he has a good 3 block here. A 3 block that he doesn't need. If it's his only blue, then we're in good shape. Yep. So that's what we anticipated. Human. Yeah, we almost think. Yep. And if you guys noticed, I just stopped counting, and that's because we're at such a low life total to where having the data point of counting is just an unnecessary tax because the life totals are so I have to make the best play I can on the cards I see. I can't play for 2 turns down the road that may not even exist. So in a dream world, I can just Bramble Scar, make a Rune Chant, swing, and only have to block 2. But don't hold your breath, chat. I feel like we're going to get put in a tough situation here. E-strike for 7. Okay. Oh, chat. I want to take this, chat. Actually, I think I need the... But if okay. So what's the worst card he could get? He doesn't have Tunic Counter. We have Take the Tempo. Or, sorry, not Torrent of Tempo. Okay, he gains Go Again. The on-hit Go Again doesn't matter because he has snaps. Completely irrelevant. So we go get any combo card. I don't even know what follows Torrent of Tempo. What is it? Rushing River? Let's go do some scouting. Look at that. I don't care about that card. So I think his only line is to go get like 100 wins. If he has like something that kind of sucks. Or he just snatches me, which I'd rather handle that then. So I think we got to take a chat. Is he going to go get his 100 wins? Just knee-jerk react. That's the only thing I can see. Because he can give it +1 to be 4, so I will have to block with... Chat. Gotta block with 2 cards. Fluster, I think Fluster is going to be what? 3? Fluster 3 damage? I think Fluster's 3 damage. But look at that. Somebody knew it. And it's a red one too. Super unfortunate. So we have to abandon ship here. We have to give up on the Rosetta swing. So our next best line is to block with these two and then go 4-4. Which means we definitely lose this game because he doesn't even have to give me a card. He probably will give me one card. But then Kadachi, he gets a card on the Kadachi, and then anything that's a break point gets another 2. So I get 1 card. I go in for 4. Yep, that is game, chat. That is game. Unless he just like hard bricked. That was my fault. I should not have taken the whelming because I didn't see the tunic counter or the fact that he had not used Katsu yet. So that was that's one thing I recommend. These heroes that you don't play against a lot, you need to like get a rep in every once in a while because it's like you don't want to like roll up in the Pro Tour and like have that happen, right? It just super feels bad, right? So just get the rep in and go from there. And if he just throws Tunic here, then we draw the sigil that we don't play. Right? Blocking with a 2-block here is actually comforting, oddly enough. Okay, so we take this one, and he just razors me. Give it to me. Yep, and he gets a card, which is fine. We give him the least impactful 2-block. And we need a brick here. We need some just crappy blue. But if he had a crappy blue, he would have blocked with that and not the... Yep. So this gets the whole hand if he's coming in for 7. Okay, he's not, so we give him the... what we have to, and if he attacks for anything more than 2, he wins. Just like I thought we... Yep. So that is GG, chat. Once again, the reason we play Flesh and Blood is it comes down to... So one interesting thing, I've been playing since Tales of Aria, and for those of you who played back then, like I'm talking like the first national season kind of, the game was about like who made only 2 mistakes. Whereas now it's like the game is who makes 1 mistake and you're just out. And that's obviously for competitive reason. That's like really good. But it is something to be aware of and to work toward for sure. So we're going to run it again. Yeah, we didn't draw a single CMH, did we? I didn't think about that. Unfortunate. Okay. Anybody that saw my stream game knows we're not getting fatigued. That's a fact. Also in this matchup, I do not like to... I'm not a fan of these Sonatas. So we're going to put in the Lightning Press, and we're also going to... There's a lot more situations where we need the So Tomorrow more than this rounds. So we're going to make that edit. And then what we'll also do is we'll go and take out... nope, we'll just run it as is. And run it. We do have Crown of Seeds in the list for Lexi. Too busy with the count to even think about CMH. It's a lot the first couple times you do it, but I promise you, when you just sit down and like do it on your Tower Shark games for about a week, you'll just start doing it for nothing. And like I said, it applies to other heroes, right? Any of our Lexi players here, right? Keep count of your arrows. Now, it works better the closer your ratio is to... Oh, tell me this isn't fatigue. 64 cards. All right, chat. I'm sorry. But he doesn't know we have it. He doesn't. He doesn't know, but he's about to find out. He's about to find out. We're gonna let him know. We are going to let him know. So our count was 2 rights in snatch, which is 3 attacks, 1 non-attack. So our count is a -2. Okay, and also for fatigue, for those of you who have not seen my tweet, basically the thought process here is we are just going to get to 4 cards in deck, and we are going to bramble rights, fuse both, hit ourselves with the arcane, which turns on both modes for rights, and we're going to put both the bramble spark and the rights back on the bottom for a loop of 9 is the game plan. So we do have a mulch here. Looks like the Pat Ed I can't even talk. XB Ed. Can't say his last name. I tried. So we're gonna block here, even though it's kind of risky. Our count's low, but we are gonna tome here to try. Actually, I think that's unnecessarily risky, so we're gonna go ahead and block here. It still fulfills the spinal situation. Okay. Yep, so our count is back at 0 because of what our hand was. So count is at 0. We're going to take 3 here. We're not going to trigger this. We're going to go ahead and tome. All right. Spinal isn't in that list. Okay. So maybe this is just a different version. All right, so we're going to go ahead and Tome of Harvest. And not exactly what we were looking for, but we'll make do. So we have to, our count was at 0, already counting the swarming. So we're going to count -1, +1, +1, which is a net of +1. So now our deck is at +1, which means we have 1 more non-attack than non-attack. And we're just going to we're going to go ahead and make a rune chant because we need to. I actually like going and playing this rounds because we need to get it out of our deck anyway. I kind of like that. And if we draw an attack, it's super good. Yep. So let's do that. So we were at +1 and we just drew an attack. So we go ahead and count that. So we're back to 0. Yep, he's gonna de-react, of course. Yep, why not? And we already have the aura created from the embodiment of lightning, so we're gonna go ahead and jam the swarming. In fatigue here, it's actually, if he was to take this, there is a situation where that happens because he could throw another spinal and get technically more cards from me, which would technically be like extremely warranted. There's an argument where we might throw the rabble, but we're basically just going to sit on this card till we see a CMH is the game plan. Saving the crown for the arcane. Standard stuff. So count on the deck is 0. And all his attacks are -1 next turn, including this hammer. What's he thinking about, bro? Oh, in full screen mode, I can't refresh. It's unfortunate. What's happening? Come on, we're gonna go to time. What you waiting on? Stack pitch. We need to go here first. We always need to put tome first. Okay, it's an even split. So we are back to, or no change. So I believe we were at +1. So here we don't block with anything. We just go here, make a rune chant here, here, and arsenal this bad boy. So we're gonna take this 3. We go ahead and make the rune chant up front because we don't want to reset the chain for. Are you and Josh gonna unleash the axe story tech? So I'm the one that's been working on the axe story, and I'm just trying to get it just right before we kind of get that out there. Because right now, to be honest, guys, it's looking like it could be a contender. I might be taking it to Charlotte. It's actually good. So count is still +1. He's obviously not going to take that, but any of this damage, but we can always dream. Putting swarming to 4, that'd be so nice, but it is what it is. I didn't even see. We revealed another rabble. Okay, so we really need channel next turn. That would be fantastic if you could do that for me, deck. I'd owe you one. So we're just taking efficient lines and trying to get down to a deck size of. We're damage stacking, right? Is somewhat damage stacking. We're damage stacking while keeping an attack with Go Get an Arsenal for when we draw the channel. We can actually like take just maximum value off of it. So technically right now we're not damage stacking, but we were setting ourselves up so that way no matter what, when we draw the CMH, we are good to go. Trigger embodiment of caffeine. All right, that is a good ice react, but I mean, me personally, knowing that there's a rabble on top, I actually prefer it because I don't have a hammer coming at me, and as long as I can keep this life, then we're good. So actually, perfectly okay with this. Get some damage in, and I don't get a hammer thrown at me. It's a win for me for sure. So he can ice react all he wants. But one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take note of that and know that he's willing to make that play. So I'm not going to give him the opportunity to if I'm trying to not let that happen, right? So this is a very few chance that Scar for Scar is actually going to be on for this match. So we're going to go ahead and get that out there. So our count was +1, and we drew 3 attacks and 1 non-attack. So that takes our count down to -1 because it is a net of -2. So we were at -1. Once again, nothing to worry about. We're just going to go ahead and Scar. Yeah, I don't mind playing this matchup because I don't care that it's long. It's just it's annoying to be like I don't know. I just doesn't do it for me, to be honest with you. It's not my forte. So if we could rip a channel while holding a rabble in Arsenal at Lightning Surge. I actually like that play. Instead of actually playing the Rabble, don't give him the chance to ice react it, because we actually want to keep it here, because we don't want to keep. Yeah, I'll let it go here. And I understand that it's a valid strategy. I don't want you guys to say that I just completely like dismiss fatigue, because it's a valid strategy. But this might be a hot take. It could be, but I think when you play fatigue, you're asking your opponent to be a good player, but not requiring yourself to be a good player. I think that if you see anybody that's doing well with fatigue, I think that if there's ever a meta where that's not successful, I think their performance will drastically drop, because they relied on a strategy that just simply forced them to match numbers, and they weren't working on any other like skill sets as far as the game's concerned, right? So I think more of it is it's boring, and it instills bad habits or prevents them to be better players by playing that type of play style, is kind of my thought process. So we have Tunic Counter here, which is actually kind of scary. So we could have like, yeah, Choke Slam. Okay. We have not seen a... Channel Mount Heroic. We went through 20 cards. What is happening? And unfortunately, in this situation, I think we still have Brambles in there, so we're good there. But we're gonna be forced to just play that. So we're just gonna block here. That can't be right. Is it? I can't give up the armor because we need to keep 2 armor for the Terra Sunder. That's what we need to... Michael said hot take fatigue Oldhim is super hard to play as well. I do agree, but it's a skill set that does not apply anywhere else. Does that make sense? Right? So you could perfect that. But if that ever becomes not a meta choice, it's just that whole skill set is just not relevant from that point on. Okay. So our draws are definitely less than optimal, because we have not gotten a Channel Mount Heroic. And to be honest, I'm tired of waiting for one. So here we are going to Scar, and then instead of playing the Rabble, we're actually going to pitch it, because unless he could ice react here, which is valid. Yep. I think the only thing that makes Oldhim difficult is you do have to have a solid idea of what the opponent is trying to do. I think that's the difficulty in Oldhim. I don't think it has anything to do with the hero. I think it's you have a lot of tools that interact with them in the way that they're trying to play. So you just have to know a lot about what you're playing against. So like me, I don't play a lot of Oldhim, but I promise you I could play Oldhim very well into Briar. Because I would know that, he would hate to be ice reacted here, right? And just have those instincts, if you will. All right, and of course, we draw the Channel Mount Heroic, but it is without a Earth Blue, because we are high rolling. So, we have. See, I don't even know what to do here. I think we literally have to block 3. As crazy as that sounds. Chat, there's a good chance we could lose this one because these draws are not where it be. I just need to draw a Nimblism and an Earth Blue. And we're back in this. I appreciate the support, man. It's my first stream. Any and all feedback is more than welcome. Please let me know what you like, what you don't like, and I will do my best to adapt, because that's what Briar players do, right? Okay, I did not draw an embolism. I drew the next best thing, and it's met with a CNC. So, as unfortunate as it is, we gotta let this bad boy hit. There's just no way around it. Terrible timing once again. But that's, with no embodiment, it would take 2 cards. There'd just be no point, right? So we have to play the channel out, and we're gonna go ahead and get the value on the Scar. We're gonna go ahead and Tunic and Rosetta. Stream setup looks great. I appreciate that, but I actually had nothing to do with that. That was all Josh and Kyle's heavy lifting, so I can't take any credit for that. Haha. Imagine paying $600 to have a card that does nothing and just pitches blue. It's worse than a blue sync blue. People pay $500 for it. No, I'm just kidding. Card's great. But when you're winning, it's very bad. What axe is the axe story? It is the dual axe. It is not that abomination that was recently created in the new set. Nathan, who are you going to play when Briar LLs? Well, I've told myself that I'm dropping Runeblade, but what's going to actually happen is I'm going to tinker with Viscera for about a month, waste a whole lot of time, and I'm going to realize that it doesn't work because it's inconsistent, and I'm going to, maybe do a little bit of therapy. It's just we're going to struggle a little bit, and then we're going to probably play Axis Door, maybe Assassin. I want to stick with something that's mid-rangey. That's what I want to do. That is my ambition. I really like the Axis Story list. I'm proud of it. Made it from scratch, and it's actually really good. Okay, so we got some options here. We can do a lot. We can obviously get in 21, 24, swing Rosetta, or not Rosetta, maybe draw a card. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get in as much damage as we can. We're going to go ahead and we're going to see what's on top and assess the value to our snatch. Sorry, guys, I haven't been counting. I've been trying to interact with chat more, and this is like, oh, it's so much. You guys count for me. How about that? How about that? So we're going to look at this and realize that there's a Weave Earth on top and that it does me absolutely no good. So the value of that snatch hitting, while could be decent, is not going to be the best. Okay. So we're not going to get any value here out of... I know your pain was a prison main. Yeah, man, this is the this will be the 3rd time that this has happened to me. When Briar LLs, I'm actually going to make a video on what to do after your hero LLs because I played the first deck I ever fell in love with was Combo Viscerai, and he did not LL, but man, let me tell you what, he might as well have. The deck changed completely, and it just was not what I loved, right? And yeah, so and then I played Chain, and then Chain actually LL'd. So this will be the third time that I will have went through a class change, if you will, right? Interesting that he just let 4 hit there. He knows about the press, which is why I'm not playing. I could have played the Weave Earth for the Entwine Lightning, but I fully anticipate this not hitting even with the press because I had to show it to give it go again. So, but yeah, Weave Earth would apply to Entwine for sure. But it's actually just going to be an Arsenal target because he's going to staunch this. You want to bet? Watch this. Go ahead and staunch. Oh, he's ice reacting. So I just draw the Weave Earth anyway. That was kind of smart, wasn't it? On accident, but little does he know that card is trash. At least we confirmed we don't have a stream sniper, right? Because nobody's going to do that. I'm going to be the one doing third time, too, if no one stops Hamilton. Yeah. He's just built different. It's a plot armor, right? What he does for the game is actually very good. I think Hamilton applies a lot of accountability to a lot of the players. And, you can't just say, "Oh man, variance," because he's consistent, man. I think the hero that you pick has a lot to do with that. So we have a Sonata. And this is some risky business because if we play this, we're shuffling our deck and we're even further away from our 2 channels. But we're doing it, chat. But I promise you, it's going to reveal a channel Mount Heroic. Watch this. Chat. Not like this. Not like this. Oh, no. Oh. I should have been counting, chat. But I wasn't. I was trying to be more interactive with you guys. Once you guys, understood what was happening and the anti-breaking strategy. Not saying it's chat's fault. Not saying that. It's 100% me. But if you guys weren't so cool, I'd be less distracted, right? Very good chance we lose this game, chat. I'm trying my best, but paying into a Sonata and missing and drawing the channel and no blue and getting CNC'd. It adds up. It adds up, chat. Probably just gonna, yeah, he's realizing that he can get to a point to where he can just stop the loop by pressuring my life, which is why he's favoring the hammer over blocking the 2 damage, which hats off to him. It's completely the right play. 100%. And we're going to do nothing but cry about it? No? We're actually going to... I'm actually going to block 4 here, chat. I think... Because we can... Nimblism, E-Strike, go again, Tunic, Rosetta, still hanging. I'm keeping this for the Tome of Harvest. I'm not hanging on to it for any other reason, chat. It's just... We shuffle the deck so the tomes are back in. And we're going to do it live. Okay. You guys are going to have to tell me how long people usually stream for. I don't have a clue. I'm just going till my eyes hurt. All right, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do the 8, and then tune a counter for the Rosetta value. And he's not gonna take any damage. That's our game plan. Yeah, the problem with the right loop with the Bramble Spark is at 19, pinging yourself for 1 is actually could get you. We really need to get him down to like 2 and quickly. Like very quickly. We need to get him down. I haven't seen any heal cards though. That makes things easier. 2 to 3 hours. You would know, Ed. Anybody that likes the other end of this matchup, go check out Nighttime Fab on Twitch. That is the man that likes to swing hammer for 4 or 6. But not no frostbites no more. Ah, got him. Sucks to suck. All right, yep, another CNC. Little does he know we have literally trash in the arsenal, so he can have it. And we're just going to do our go-to play. This is actually becoming a mid-range game, thank God. Not a... Oh, no chat. I was so set on fatigue, I didn't even look for the pummel. Oh, God. But we're ditching the exude. It's just how it be. That hurts, though. That hurts. Wasn't even paying attention. Be like Josh and stream a set of number of games. Yeah, I could. Yep, this very quickly turned into, so we can no longer do the, we obviously can't start pinging ourselves if we're at 9 life. That's not gonna happen. We don't need to help him. So we're gonna do things our way. And we're just gonna try to outvalue, which is very hard to do when he's got 2 seeing blows on our 8. Oh, Rosetta, what are we gonna do without you? Tell you what I'm gonna do. Reaping Blade. It's the same shit with 1 less damage. Tell you what. Not gonna lie. I kind of was getting a little worried that I was coming in for 7. So we are going to eat it. Which normally I would not recommend that. In our Patreon, if any of you guys are interested, I do a lot of write-ups and like deck guides and stuff like that for Briar and whatnot. And one of the things I like to explain is the concept of runway. Runway is the number 1 factor of Briar. And some of you might be asking, well, what is runway? Well, what I mean when I say runway is we obviously play Channel Mount Heroic, right? It's an extreme power card. And if you have a hand that produces 12 damage or whatever, but like if you block with it, it still produces 12 versus if you play it, it produces 12. If you basically, you have the option to slow the game down so that way when you get Channel Mount Heroic, you're not at 4 life like I am now. So next turn, what's going to happen? He's just going to cleanly block this, and I'm going to be basically screwed because he's going to throw an attack at me, and I'm going to have to give him a card, which is super unfortunate, and I'm going to get less value out of that channel. But that is how it be. And he had the crown floating by 1 and has an Earth card in hand. And so he's playing around the Lightning Press there, which is pretty smart. I'll give him that. But little does he know, I didn't have it. Not built different. This is a hand. I don't know if it's the hand, but we're going to make it work. What we're going to do is we're going to tome and we're going to dream. Because we're at 4 life. We can't be playing around, right? So we are going to block 1 because we got tunic counter. We're going to go to 1. Very risque, but we got no choice. We have to high roll here. Part of being a solid fab player is understanding when you know you just have to high roll and letting that be your out. And that's okay. That is a-okay. Because if we can just get his hand, we're good. We'll go to 1. I'm going to tome and figure it out. I don't know what's going to happen. But we're gonna do it live. Tell you what. Play the small one first. Get his hopes up. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Are we about to rip three attacks off the top? I think we are, chat. I think that's what's about to happen. Let's go and rip this tome. Real nice, like. Come on, give it to me. Okay, chat. We can work with this. We can indeed. We can make this work. The question is, what's the most efficient line? And what I'm coming up with is we can Bramble Spark, Fuse, and then we can Force of Nature, Fuse, and then we can take Tunic Counter, put 1 Earth pitch in the pitch zone for rights, which will have go again. And this is coming in for like 1,400 or something. I don't know the exact number, but it's going to be a decent number. I think 11, something like that. We're going to get the whole hand. And then we're going to hit him with the Rabble, and we're going to draw something. And at worst, we're going to Rosetta, which means we're just not getting hammered. That's the game plan. But if we draw an Earth Blue off the top here, then it's just huge because we have the ability to keep Chinomaw Heroic out. And that's the business we're in. So this is for a solid 13. No worries. We got the whole hand just to stop it. So that guarantees that this Rabble gonna hit. This Rabble gonna hit. That's a fact. Even if we miss on it. But the best thing that could happen is there's actually the best case scenario is like we could chain into a bunch of attacks, but like if there's an Earth Blue on top, it's actually good because we'll just pitch it for Rosette and keep channel out. So like really, like as long as it's not Nimbleism, we're good. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, snatch, guys. Oh, and we have snaps. Sucks to suck. We got it. Stupid fatigue. Oh, ultra punished. Tell you what. Get in there. Yeah. GG. See, chat. You just gotta know. We were losing that. Did y'all see that right sloop? That never happened. Tell you what. That one, we should have lost. But once again, I just recognized my only way out was a high roll. And, we did it. We did it. So we're going to keep going. Once again, I don't know if we've had some people join us. So I'm going to quickly go over real quick just the strategy again, just so people, and we're going to start counting again. I'm not going to be distracted. So the anti-breaking strategy is card counting like in blackjack. We're assigning values. Attacks are -1, non-attacks are +1. And we are keeping a rolling count for the cards that we draw. No matter if they go in the pitch zone, graveyard, banish zone, arsenal, doesn't matter. They are not recounted or deducted in any way. You just count them when you see them and go from there. and we keep a running count. And based off, this is the same one. Sorry, bro, not happening. So basically, if what was I saying before? I got flat PTSD from the fatigue. But we keep a running count. So, for example, if we draw 3 non-attacks and an attack, then the net of that is +1, +1, +1, and -1. So the net is +2. So we carry the +2 over and we draw our new hand, and we do the same thing. We keep a running count. And when we start getting to like -4, +4, -5, +5 threshold, we start making inefficient lines to make sure that that does not happen. And when I say non-attack, I literally mean anything that is not an attack, not just non-attacks. Okay, so we have I actually like this matchup. I do thoroughly enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. We do go first because we run the Crown of Seeds package in this matchup. Other than that, I would probably actually recommend going second, believe it or not. We throw in the extra blue because we kind of have to. We take out this because it could be a liability. We want these more than these. And also, I like Exude, actually. So let's put it in the place of nothing. We'll just run it like that. And roll with it. Chris Ray in the chat. What's up, my man? Glad to have you back in the game. Hope we can get some games in at some big tournaments. Looking forward to it. All right. So this game, this matchup specifically, is all about mitigating risk with the exception of about 2 windows where you really need to just take a chance and be right, and you win. Simple as that. Just don't be wrong twice. So here our count is 3 attacks, 1 non-attack. So our number that we're carrying over in our deck is -2. Obviously, we're going to arsenal this card. I don't see anything else to do. So we're just going to give him priority. And we're going to arsenal it. And that is what we call a good hand. Out those. Jeff. Good to see you. It's not Lexi, but it's the next best thing. Steal your Briar strats to pivot from dash. Man, I don't hate dash. I don't think it's... What? Cornet peak. What? Turn 2? I'm not hating. I'll pay. So the thought process here is I don't... Knee-jerk reaction is you give him the Earth Blue, but I'm going to do that for shelter from Channel Lake Frigid if he has it. So I'm going to give him this, and then my line is going to be Nimblism, Surge, Rosetta, and then that also leaves 2 for the Frostbite, and then AB1, and then Arsenal the E-Strike is my line. So we are going to... At least Lexi is respectable to play. Not against. But yes. Okay, so... This is why we made the line we did, right? If we would have given the blue, then we couldn't do this. Typically, I like to pitch a blue and AB1 and whatever, but I need the 1 for the Rosetta because he's not making a Frostbite here. So we are going to take all 3, then elect to pay, which leaves the 1 floating for the Frostbite. And he cannot... Also, anytime that you can play from Arsenal your attack that he can't brain freeze is always a positive, let me tell you. That is a winner chicken dinner. And then once you get tempo and you can actually maintain it, then your cards, are not crappy blues, while his are, and you can get in a decent spot. But that's giving that blue is kind of what I meant by by doing that. So what was our count? We pitched a Rabble and an Earth Floor. So that's even. This is even. Okay, so we're at -1 on our count. -1 on our count. We have 2 non-attacks, 2 attacks. So we're a wash. We're still -1. And he is passing priority because he is scared. And we jammed this because no matter what he does, he got some heat coming. And anything but, oh, look at that. You sure? Okay, I do like we have tunic counter. So the line that I'm kind of favoring is going to E-Strike here, hold the swarming, and if it hits, then we can play the swarming 2 and then Rosetta. And this is coming in for a cushy 10. Lexi is so flexible. Absolutely love playing Big Arrow Death Dealer Lexi. Yeah, flexible until she gets hit with a CNC. Then she folds like a rusty lawn chair. But I do agree. I see the fun in playing Lexi. And you can use this strategy in Lexi. Come up with your arrow ratio and keep a running count. And then that way you know how many arrows you have left, so you know whether to play your 3 of a kind. Like, this is good stuff here. All right, so we cleared the embodiment, and there's very rare chance that we're ever going to get to play this like effectively. So we're going to go ahead and jam it. Just get the damage in. What did he play from ours? Oh, it was a sync blow. Okay, I didn't even know. So our count is still -1. Card counting your arrows. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think card counting is not it's not groundbreaking, right? Like, I didn't create anything. I just saw something that I watched the movie 21. I was like, man, I wish I knew when crap was coming up, in my deck. And I was like, hey, let me try this. And it worked. And so I think the value is people explaining it in a way to where it's easy for them to do. Because a lot of people, if they try to probably just apply card counting, they'd probably just sit there and, basically try to count like 15 attacks and like 17 non-attacks, but that's a lot to keep up with. But if you just do the +1 -1, it keeps it pretty simple. So 8 damage when we have a 18 life lead. I just don't care. But then again, we have shelter from. See, this is one of those tricky moments, right? We have the tunic counter to pay for the frostbite on the embodiment of Earth to play the runic, because that's obviously the line. But if it's Channel Lake Frigid, we get blown out. So I think I'm gonna risk it. And if it's anything but Channel Lake Frigid, actually, what we need to do is so we don't get. He can brain freeze this 0 cost, but he can't brain freeze either one of these. So we're gonna be good. And he's not going to have Channel Lake Frigid because I'm not going to let him. Please don't. Please don't have it. Please don't. Please don't. He's thinking. Surely if you have Channel Lake Frigid, well, you probably are thinking, because you have to think of like how to keep it. It's not as straightforward. We're in it, chat. He didn't have it. He is quote unquote not built different. Nathan, I'm a big fan. Thanks for streaming. Watching on my phone, and the Tower Shard cards are like micro-sized on here. Can you zoom in? So one thing that I want to do is I kind of want to change the layout and kind of like expand the space. But I do get what you're saying. I would love to be able to, but I just simply can't right now, unfortunately. I really hate that. And my name and the cards on the logo are covering up my beautiful Snapdragon scalers, which I don't approve of either. But we're gonna work on that. This is the first stream ever, so we're gonna take feedback like that. If you guys have any feedback like that, just let me know, and we'll make it even better. I've never seen this play before. This is a Wounded Bull. Now, this is the same card in Arsenal. He didn't play it last turn, so I'm gonna get greedy and play this Channel Mount. Because I think we can get away with it. I think what we can do is we have an Earthwar Surge in Arsenal, so that turns on So I'm going to pitch that, play the Rabble, Tunic, Rosetta, because I don't think he's going to play this Arsenal card. So we are going to bank on using our head. That's the goal. Let's do that. You ain't got it. You ain't got it. Oh, chat. He had channel last turn and didn't play it. Interesting. So the rule here is you always take the tunic counter because you're not going to get it for 2 turns anyway. So you just take it. That's like the most logical choice. That's fine. So we have to do some math here, chat. This CMH is going to cost me 5 resources because of the channel and the frostbite. So I'll have 2 floating if I pitch both of these. And then I can rabble, which means I have 1 floating, which means I cannot Rosetta. But that does mean we can AB1. Yep, we'll just send a soft 6, which more than likely he's just going to block 1 card, Cornet Peak on my turn, and then Arsenal last. Can you press Control Plus on the Tower Shard window to make it bigger? Won't that zoom in like more for me? Oh. Oh, how is that? Whoever said that, you're the GOAT. I know this looks better. See, this is why we do this. We learn stuff. Okay, our hand is garbage. Like literal garbage. But what we could do is we could double pitch Earth to keep the channel out and just throw 8 at him. I think that's what we're going to do. So we are going to pay in case he... Yep, because there's no reason not to. So we're going to do that. And then we're just going to throw 8 at him. Oh, no. We messed up, chat. What did I block with? Or what did I pitch? Oh, I pitched a Tome of Harvest. I didn't play around the plane. 3s. Oh. Not gonna lie. That one cost me the game. Blocking or giving the wrong dang. Should have blocked. See, I made the play earlier in the match. I was like, oh yeah, well if he brain freezes, he can't take my blue. But then that, see, it's all about the small stuff. Anyway, we don't even have grass. We can't keep this around. If we activate this, that's 1, and then this is 2. It's not enough to get 2 in the pitch zone. So there's literally no way. So all we can do is here. Unfortunate. Big mistake. Big mistake. That one's going to hurt. So now we really have to put on the pressure and hope there's no way that he's going to So he's probably just going to follow up with a Scar. No, he would have played the Scar first and then 7. So what is this? Oh, it's a Cornet Peak. Okay. So he's going to Cornet Peak, which is okay. Because this will be gone. And then what's our turn? Our turn, we will not have Tunic counter. I'm anticipating him Cornet peaking. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna crown now to get the block damage. Wait, no. We have to back because apparently you can't crown blocks. Who would have known? And that way we have the one floating for the Cornet Peak, and now we still have lines that we can take, and we are good. Because I'm really anticipating a Cornet Peak. He might not do it now because... Dang, I was wrong. But this is good. He does not have 2 ice cards in the pitch zone. We do go to like a really low life total. So, I mean, I think... To be honest, I think that blocking with that wrong card was, or pitching the wrong value, Earth Blue was the wrong, probably cost us the game. But here, these are 2 blocks. I can't afford to block those. Unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, revealing this. We don't want to show that we have a press. Because if there's ever a situation where he just takes a lot of this, who knows? Streamed misplays make good content. Well, subscribe and I will show you plenty. I'll show you all the mistakes. What did we have on top? Reveals on Entwine Lightning. So we have another Entwine. Okay. I kind of want to crown target because Tunic's about to be on 3, so I'm actually not going to play this right now. I don't think there's a reason. He has 2 cards. He could peek, which is going to get a second card anyway. Like there's nothing I can inadvertently do about it. We do have the press for the snatch, so I think we discard the Entwine. And that way, yep, he's going to peek. And we will just go ahead and discard the Chunma Rook, because that's never getting played, and we can Nimblism into this and snap it and kind of put on some pressure. And we have a Tunic counter to make it through any Frostbite. But if he has Brain Freeze here, he wins. Easy as that. Seems like we're in the clear, so we'll go ahead and Embolism it. And we'll go ahead and hit him with a Snatch. All right. Full block. Too bad, so sad. Get in there. Yeah. Tunic kind of Rosetta. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. We need to think here. we have a decision point that I almost skipped over. And the question is, do we pop the Vexing Quillham? So we have to analyze here. He does still have Metacarpus nodes, so the fact of AB1 and Storm Strider's interaction of AB2 is irrelevant. So with him having 2 cards in hand, us popping Vexing Quillham will basically... Does that get... It does get another card. So we can't get Wounded Bulled here. I think we go for it, right? Like that's our only out. Like we just have to. Like I don't see, because if I don't, yeah, that's just I call that not popping Vexing here. I call that playing not to lose, not playing to win. So we definitely pop it here. And we get that card. You're not Wounded Bulling me. That's a fact. I guess he could Tunic counter or Tunic go to 1. That sucks. We getting bulled. Dang it. Okay. So basically we're gonna block the bull and send E-Strike for 7 is what I'm anticipating. Okay, so we definitely give the Tunic here because there's very little chance we'll get value from it. Good hand, though. Great hand here. And we'll see what happens. Okay. This is the tough part. We can't go to 7. If we go to 7, we just die to like everything, basically. So I think we have to keep Crown. So I want to block with this. And that way we're going to Rabble, try to get a card, and then E-Strike for 7, which gets the whole card, or he has to kill us from 10. Is basically the thought process that I'm going with. Totally haven't been counting. This is a tough game. Interacting with chat and counting and playing the game. So overall, what's your guys' opinion on the card counting strategy? Do you think it's like good enough? Waste of time? What do you think? Okay. So we got Emeritus Scalding, which is the scariest card you could possibly have. Well, we basically only have AB1, so we just Crown when he can present lethal and stop 1 damage if we can. Which he basically can because he only has to do 4 more damage. So we're still safe. So basically anything with 3 plus node or any 4 wins it here. And that is a 4. So we can Crown and draw the Oasis that's not there. And that's it. That is game. So what this boiled down to was blocking or pitching the Tome of Harvest for the getting shut down by the Brain Freeze was the mistake that costed this one. Do you think you can count over the course of an entire tournament? Seems mentally taxing. I do it every tournament. But there's certain decision points that, like, once I get to a certain life total, like when you start getting down to 10 life, I stop counting because there's not enough light. Like, it doesn't make sense to say, oh, I might draw all non-attacks next turn when there might not be a next turn, right? So you just play the best line you can with the hand you're given at that point in the game. And like honestly, the Icelander matchup, it's almost pointless to do it in that one because you're already just mitigating the risk on their end. That it's possible, but it's very difficult to do both. But the one misstep there, definitely got it for sure. But we'll go again. And I tell you what, since you got actually, I'll leave it up to you guys. I have a Briar deck that I'm working on that nobody's ever seen. Well, a couple people, but we can play around with that. It's not normal Briar, but we can do it. It's not the Goliath Gauntlet either. It's something. It's 60 cards different from both. But we can play that one if you guys want, or we. I don't want to just hop straight into it without asking you guys because, it is meta. It's viable, but it does. I'm working on the math on it as far as consistency goes. But what do you guys think? You want to see normal Briar or do you want to see the spice? You guys just let me know in chat. I'm just here to please. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to let me know. Let's go. All right, we're doing the spice. It's not OTK. I have built that though, but it's not OTK. The spice always. All right, you got it. I call this one. You can see it. It's called Lawn and Garden. All right, we'll run it. This is it. So the inspiration here was I dropped a box of Tales of Aria. And yeah, this is what came of it. So this is the list. And it actually works. So the idea is that you operate on the math behind the deck is you operate on a 24-24-24 ratio. It's 24 earth cards, 24 cards that ask to be fused, and then a 30-30 split. And so the idea is you want to play a Weave Lightning, fuse any of your attacks that always ask to be fused. It gives it go again. They cost 2 Rosetta. Extreme value. The only problem is you have to make it through the bricks, unfortunately, because they do happen, but we do have Crown of Seeds to help mitigate that. So they don't run AB, so we're going to take out the Force of Nature. Force of Nature is the blue block 3. You don't ever play it in this deck. So we're going to do that, and Command and Conquer is good against Bolton because he's obviously trying to combo. But in this deck, I think I just have to. You guys will see when we start playing it how you have to. There, it's like the first ever like sideboardless deck I've ever made. There's just no room. Everything's like down to a very specific ratio. All right, so we're gonna get some filtering. Obviously, we're going to prioritize keeping the Weave Earth, so we're gonna block with So and keep the attack. But hopefully, we can draw a Weave Lightning and a good like Earth card would be fantastic. Some turns you will see, you will basically see, stirs come in for 14, but then sometimes all you could see, this is beautiful right here, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna Weave Lightning into a blue crappy Entwine Earth, pitch the blue, fuse it, non-go again. 1 floating. That's 13 damage using a blue attack with 3 cards. That has a value of 4.333 per card off the rip. I'm telling you, it's got legs. Why do we run Spellbound Creepers exactly? I'm glad you asked. They're just like, they're like name brand Iron Rots. They're like Gucci Iron Rots. We're never going to use it. But when you got you know, when you got the flex, you might as well use it, right? Not for this build, but what do you think of Electrify in Briar? I played it at Worlds, and the problem with Electrify is it costs 1. Simple as that. It doesn't do enough, which is crazy. I know it sounds crazy, a card that replaces itself. The problem that I found was there's too much competition with cards that want to go in Arsenal, Lightning Surge, Channel Mount Roic, a lot of attacks. Like, there's so much competition with wanting to go in Arsenal that adding 3 more was a mistake. So we're basically just going to make that line over and over and over again is what this deck's trying to do. And we have the Crown of Seeds in case we have a brick. So in this situation, what we're going to do is we're going to Weave Earth, Burgeoning, and then Arsenal the Stir. And then Rosetta. Yeah, I'll prevent 1 soul. Why not? Sign me up. Like I said, literally creepers are Iron Rod. Like, no joke. When deck building, I think identifying what each player needs to count for their deck / hero is as important to what the count method is. Absolutely. 100%. Now we do have, if we're feeling like a little spicy, we have the option to crown here, pitching this. And if we rip something good, we can like, nah, it's too risky. We already have a decent. Be 3, then 7, that's 10. That's 14 on 4. That's, why not? It's a Hamilton school type of Briar. Yes and no. Hamilton would never play this deck because it has consistency issues. But I'm working on that. I'm trying to get the math perfect. It's close. The 24 ratio is right where you want to be. That gives you like an 87.13% chance, I think, to see every single thing you need. So the deck's terrible 13% of the time, basically. And if anybody wanted to know how bad the specialization is for Briar, what is it? Blossoming Spellblade is. I run like 12 lightning cards and a whole bunch of earth cards, and I still don't run that card. That's how bad it is. Okay, so here our best line is to play Burgeoning. God, that sounds depressing. No, he doesn't have AB, guys. We got to think outside the box. Right? We're going to block this. Pitch, make a rune chant, this, fuse. The hand was salvageable. Salvageable. Look at that. 3 cards. 10 damage plus the arcane. Off of a like really bad hand of like all blues. Not the best rate, granted, but we're make this the Briar that LSS had. That's when I made it. That's kind of what how I came up with this deck was I looked at Weave Lightning and I was like, what the heck was the purpose of playing this card? Like I didn't understand from a design standpoint of why LSS would create Weave Lightning. And I said, okay, you obviously want to fuse to get go again. Well, Lexi doesn't need that kind of go again. It's not a Lexi card. It's a Briar card. And it's because all these attacks cost 2. And if you fuse them, you can Rosetta. Okay, now this hand is doo-doo, but that's why we have crown. Oh. We want to crown in response, good sir. And it got worse, not better. Got worse. This is what I mean. This is the 13% of the time. This is it. Yeah, you said it in chat. Yeah. This is the 13. Yep. So literally all we can do here is pitch this blue. Bramble into this is literally all we can do. And then the arcane at least pumps it by 2. Like it's okay. Maybe. Not really. It's pretty bad to be honest. So we're going to play the saddest Bramble Spark ever. And then we're going to play this. Because at least gets some benefit. But 3 cards for 8 damage is not where you want to be. This is legitimately almost the exact same list. Brainstorm tells already launched to play the. Yeah, man. Great minds think alike, right? Great minds think alike. One. Okay, I run 24 Earth cards, and that's 2 hands. 2 hands, not a single one. So you know what we have to do, chat? Well, you got to go find one with that old Crown of Seeds. But I'm going to do it on my turn. As crazy as that sounds. But the problem with doing it that way, though, is like I need to know whether I need to block or not. But my bad. Also running 3 exudes. Yeah. I think the crown's necessary because you need to not brick. But look at that, chat. We drew 4 cards and crowned twice in no earth cards. So that's 10 cards in a row. No earth. Sad day. Good news, we're at 40 life. Imagine overblocking by 2. I just want to show you guys a little bit of spice. After this game, we can go back to the regular Briar stuff, or I don't know. Is it time to expose the Axis Dory? I don't know. I don't think I can do that. That's asking a lot. We can't blow everything on the first stream, right? We gotta keep a little bit back. He's blocking with courage here, so that obviously means that we have a good old combo coming. Okay, so we don't care that this is going to go to soul because he's already at 7, so we have no possibility to starve the soul for the combo. But what we do need is we need to crown after this hits to hopefully draw a non-attack that we can use to keep blocking the sword swings that we know are about to come in abundance. Using snaps here at that high of soul, not a fan. I'm at 40 life. He's going to have to close this game out post-combo, and that can kind of save you. But to each his own. Yeah, Axe Story is a feature stream. Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be on the feature table at Charlotte is what we're saving that one for. How about that? Okay, double beacon. Okay. I respect it. It's a very inefficient way to combo, but sometimes, sometimes you don't get no earth cards. So I know all about doing what you got to do. I know all about it. Gallantry gold. Pigeonhole red do so. Seems good. And then double lumina. Let's go. Back in the day, what I used to do, for those of you who don't know, me and Josh, we live pretty close, go to the same armories, stuff like that. What I ended up doing was I would run creepers in chains of imminence. And what I would do is I would block his first, when he took all the damage and blocked with courage, I knew he was about to combo. I'd block with an attack, and then when he would pop Courage of Bladehold, I would flash in with creepers, chains of imminence, and then call uh, Lumina Ascension, and then he couldn't play it. And I just win the game on the spot. So I literally did that to him at an armory once. And it was pretty funny. Yep, so we drew the non-attack that we needed to keep blocking these attacks. And then we're just trying to preserve life, and then we're going to go right back to just swinging 13. So we just want to block this as cleanly as possible. Not going to be super clean, but we'll manage. There is an argument too. I've played this match so many times that I know like all the different, the different strat. There is some validity to because he's at 34 cards. What you could do is like let one damage hit, and he'll gain a lot of life, but there's a good chance that he'll put a lot of beacons because he only has one beacon left. He'll put it into soul off of the Lumina trigger, and then you can just literally fatigue him. Because he's basically a blitz deck after after he combos. Whoever told me I could make the Tower Shard bigger with Control Plus, I just want to say, you're the GOAT. It looks better for me. I can't imagine you guys trying to forget that. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna take all the. See, I don't even know what swing are we on. I didn't even count. I guess we'll take that one up. This is the one we blow. What do we got in soul? Where's that other beacon? I'm gonna let him hit because I want him to banish it. I want him to banish it. Okay, and this is the last swing. I believe no point in blocking with this because he gets +2, so it only blocks for 1, which is kind of sad. It's a +1, +1. Oh, he has a whole nother swing? Does he? 1? Okay. I don't know why he gave that go again, but Mazel Tov. Yeah, we're just going to pass and let him soul shield me to death. Because that's all he got. I'm going to cry when he already has beacon. I'm going to cry so much. Okay, so we need to kind of slow he's got a lot of D-reacts, right? So we only have, 2 in there? So he's running those and soul shields more than likely. So we have, 4 plus 3, that's 7 D-reacts in the deck. So literally a third of his deck is D-reacts. So I think literally from here we just what would Ross say? Pivot, pivot. That's what we're gonna do. We are going to pivot. And this is why not having snaps is very bad, because he just realized that I'm smart enough to block with non-attacks and not increase it. Therefore, he cannot, as an attack reaction, banish a soul for a target attack with greater attack. If I block with an attack, I'm screwed. So, guys, his turn's over. Bill plays Channel Thunderstep. I love the way. Yep, and we're just going to maintain embodiment and block with all of our non-attack actions. That is what we're going to do, because he has 14 million D-reacts in his deck. I've played this match so many times with Josh that I just know every angle. It's not exactly the best matchup to know in and out, but you know, when I go up to Josh, I'm like, "Hey man, you want to play some games?" He's like, "Sure." Charged soul, you know. He's a simple man. He likes what he likes, right? Nothing wrong with that. So in this situation, I think we can actually push here, because this is just a good hand, right? Because we can crown, weave here, fuse. Oh no. No, we play this, pitch this, fuse this. So we block here and here. That's what we do. So the old 1-2 step, we are going to do that and then fuse to give it go again. And +2. So this is going to be 13 on 3 cards again. Thank you guys again for joining me for the stream. I enjoy it. I hope you guys do too. One thing I've been told a couple times is I talk through my plays very well. And that was my main goal with streaming, was I was hoping there was a couple new players that like didn't know what to do as far as like some plays, and like maybe me talking through my plays in a very good way, it kind of opens people's concepts about the games, basically. Hopefully that's the case. So we've evened the life totals, but he still has 1, 2, 3. So has 60 reacts. So a third of his deck is D reacts, but he does have there is a beacon out on the loose, which is a problem at 11 soul. Because what happens is the next time he charges, he'll just beacon for like 10, which is a problem. But you can't charge a sync blow, or you can't charge with a sync blow. You can charge one, but you can't charge one with. So the line that I want to do is here into fuse, but that leaves this just doing absolutely nothing, which means we don't do that. It's actually very likely that he banishes to Sword Swing. what I would do. Yep, careful with Cataclysm. That is true. I did not get a count. We have none, which is actually literally frightening. I think we just lost here because I can't take 8 and be at 10 and there be a beacon, right? Because then I just get there's one beacon left. He comboed with 2, so there's one beacon left. Unfortunately, because if I need a non-attack here. That's the only okay. I know it needs to be done. I need to draw a non-attack. Is what needs to happen, and what will happen. So we're gonna crown. Dang it. Well, we tried, right? My Atlanta, that goes to 6. Taking 3, I guess. Then he comes in for another 4 and takes me down to 10. And there's nothing I can do about it. What's the V count as well? We have... Yeah, he's got a lot of Vs and a lot of Cataclysms. Yep, there are a lot of D reacts, but like this is chance of playing this list in Blitz. It actually is good in Blitz because the game doesn't go on as long, so there's theoretically less chances to brick. Imagine a CNC with no text. All right, if he takes this 6, we lose because he's going to charge and beacon us to death. He's in a soul shield probably, though. Or sing below. At least we get an embodiment. That's what we needed. I like to watch good players with heroes I usually don't play to learn. Absolutely. Absolutely. Open start Brazilian Kano channel. Brazil just kicked off, right? Didn't they just get their thing? Okay, this is interesting. I think we take this 2 because he doesn't have go again, and we can go here, pitch here, fuse, which is like a pretty good line. And we dot a beacon anyway. So we'll just do that. All right, so we are going to play the weave out. We're going to play this, pitching this, fusing with this, which we could go again, and then we can Rosetta for 2 and 2. But like I said, it's probably in vain because we just died a beacon. So our only out is basically at 10 life, we have to wait until he charges. It takes damage to charge, and then we just lay the whole hand down. Is basically what we have to do. We don't have any other out. All right, what's happening? Come on. Yep, we're just waiting for him to charge and have a card in hand and just take us out. But I mean, we have outs. Like, it's not a lost game. It never is. Basically, like I said, we just have to lay down. We have to draw some non-attacks like we did, and then if he takes damage to charge, and especially this one because he's gonna draw. So if this is beacon here, we're really screwed. So what we have to do is I hate to say this, but we have to literally block everything, right? Like. I actually don't know. Because if that's a D-react, he didn't want... There's 10 cards. He's been pitching. It has to be a beacon. It's our only out, so we got to play to it. All right, after this game, we will run one more with regular Briar and practice the counting one more time. And then we'll probably call it after that. Please, if you guys have any questions, please ask. And I need to read beacon. Can he do it on any attack or attack action? Target attack. Okay, so we just lose here because if we overblock here and he has beacon, then he just sword swings and beacons that. Right? Isn't that just how this works? So is there any middle ground? I don't think there is, but we'll try it. Yep, he just has it. Unfortunately, it was the card in hand, so I lost it by overblocking. And yep. But I knew that was a thin margin, so it is what it is. So we will play our regular Briar now. Give it one more good go. What do y'all think? Am I crazy for playing Yellow Rabble? Be honest with me. Just I run 3 red Earthors, and that play is just, I'm telling you, 2 ProQuest playing that just over and over and over again. I love it. And you draw that channel turn, and like you don't have a go again problem because it's already got built-in go again. It's just no sweat, right? I do like me some Rabble. But when it comes in for 1, you do die on the inside a little bit. A little bit. What would you consider counting in Dory if she potentially shuffles the deck with something like singing? Like how you count or what you count? Because how I would count is same thing. Like you would just recount everything, right? It's as simple as that. But with that being said, oh, okay, he said nope. You would recount obviously, but if you didn't, or if you're trying to say like what would you count in Dory, I would say counting blues, right? So typically Dory runs what 24 to 26 blues, which is almost half. So like keeping a running count of how many blues you have left and like knowing that you are somewhat safe, like drawing one basically. Um, Although Dory's kind of an exception because she likes to look at her hand and decide what she's going to do with it. And the forecast, everything blocks for 3, so there's not a whole lot of downside to just playing hand from hand. So we do put in the 2 sink blows and take out the sonatas because we do keep the Gork Tome in, because unlike a lot of Runeblade players, I'm disciplined and I like to sink a Gork Tome if I find it early. All right, Ed, good night. I appreciate you swinging by. Okay, Josh corrected me. It's 21 to 23 is normal. Okay, and if anybody knew, it's that man right there. So yeah, we'll run this into our old Viscera friend. Cool sleeves. Is that Luminar, like the tip? Is that what that is? I hate Prism, so I don't know. D Panda King. Turn 1 Mordred. Gotta read the runes to go with it. For those who joined later, could you review the strategy briefly before during this game? Okay, absolutely. So what we're doing is we're doing blackjack counting. And we are assigning values of, oh, I like extra cards. So we are assigning a value to attacks and non-attacks. Okay, so our attack is a value of -1, and our non-attacks, literally anything that is non-attack, so D-reacts, instances, whatever the case may be, that's what we count it as. Sorry, just thinking here. I like to go ahead and block with this because we can't go too wide because of this. And also this just isn't doing anything, so we'll overblock. So like in this hand, for example, right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks and 1 non-attack. So if you added up the math, -1 for all attacks, +1 for all non-attacks, the count on our deck is -3. And what that means is we have 3 more non-attacks than we do attacks. So we need to start thinking about prioritizing putting an attack in arsenal. Now, the threshold that I actually like mindfully will make a less optimal play to do so is when we get to around like 4 or 5 in positive or negative. And I will actually like actively try to make that happen. So here we drew an attack and a non-attack, so it just washes. It's even, right? So we're still at our -3, which means I do need to arsenal an attack. So here the obvious line is going to be a 3 and then a 6 off of the east, right? Sinking the weave. Yeah, Josh, you just joined. People were asking for the Axe Story Spice, but I told them they couldn't have it. Not till I'm at the top tables of the Battle Hardened in Charlotte. But that's the idea. And then obviously, if you ever shuffle, you just count your graveyard, your arsenal, cards in hand, pitch zone, and you start the count over. But that's the general idea: is you're taking, just research blackjack counting, like you do at the casino, and it's taking the exact same thing and applying it to this game to give you a statistical analysis to be able to forecast. But in that, and it applies to a whole bunch of heroes, not just Rune Blades, but just any ratio that you do the counting for, the closer it is to being even is. Oh man, Dark Odious, you just hopped in after I said it again. You just hopped in. But for you, I'll do it. So it's blackjack counting is what it is. Sorry, guys, for having to hear this over and over and over again. So here we're obviously just gonna block with the sink and do that funny stuff. So we're doing blackjack counting basically. Attacks, non-attacks. And attacks are -1, non-attacks are +1. We keep a rolling count from hand to hand, and we make it where we are able to forecast the possibility of future cards by keeping a running count. So, for example, our hand was sink below, and then we sunk a non-attack. So it was non-attack, non-attack. We drew all non-attacks. Okay, so we were at -3. Non-attacks have a value of +1, so it would be from -3 +4 takes us to +1, which means we have one more non-attack in our deck than attack. But once that ratio slides one way or the other, then we have the ability to start making choices. But if you're at like +1, -1, there's no point in playing any different way than you would optimally play. Prediction based on cards used. Absolutely. Yep. We see what we. If the number gets too positive, we prioritize arsenaling non-attacks. If it gets too negative, we prioritize arsenaling attacks. Is the name of the game. But if you, an easy way to do is just like I said earlier, just research blackjack counting, and it'll make a lot of sense. But that's just the quick and dirty. Like I spent like a decent amount of time going over it and more into, and like there's ways that you can min max it. Like for me, I count poppers as non-attacks because I don't want to throw those, and I get more value from them by blocking with them. So I count them actually as non-attacks in my counting. And so there's ways that you can like min max kind of there. Yep. Thankfully, there's no rule against keeping notes in your brain. If that ever happens, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I would do. Yeah, tracking dragons, exactly. Like you could do it with a lot of different decks. Lexi with arrows, if you want to keep that ratio a run. It's just an easy way to do it, right? Like playing Runeblade, it's like it could be a hassle to be like, oh yeah, this is my 13th attack and then my 17th non-attack, and like keeping those numbers rolling. Whereas this is just a plus-minus system to keep one number and keep it rolling. Okay, I'm gonna arsenal the Rabble because it blocks less and it doesn't fuse. Turns out it didn't matter. But unless he has something amazing, we are going to eat it. That's a fact. Hope he's got that good hand. And you can also use it for heroes and like how many blue pits you have left or things like that. A lot of options. Blue, mauve, don't care. I might throw some armor at it. Who knows? Nope. We actually need to take damage to turn on these bad boys. So we are eating everything. In fact, I need him like really badly to deal 10 damage. The best card for note taking is unironically burn them all. That's funny. It's facts though. It's facts. Revel and Rune Blood is exactly what I wanted to see to make sure these scars are on like Donkey Kong. Please give me the chance. If you do counting as Viscera, how would you manage it after playing a tutor and shuffling with Sonata? Yeah, same thing. So anytime you shuffle the deck, you just count the graveyard, your hand, arsenal, pitch zone, and bandage zone. Get a new count off of those. So you just count the total and then go back and count all the attacks and then do the math. And you start over based on that number every time you shuffle the deck. Every time. What happens if we hit 700, which is the biggest number? I don't understand the reference. 700, which is watch. Hook of Earth. You'll have to explain that one to me. Banish pile into a notepad. Smart. I respect that hustle. Oh, he blocked. Boy, that was a mistake. I don't think I've seen any evidence of a CNC. And I've been talking so much, I lost my count, unfortunately. So I think we're going to hang on to the Rabble. Because there's no real reason to like play it. Because go again this turn is no different than go again the next turn. And if we need to get bailed out by a Tome of Harvest, we have that option at least. So we're going to hang on to that Rabble. We're going to block with our armor and kill him. So punished with that block. Absolutely. Well, it was kind of going to be the same play. The idea was I was going to play the Rabble and then Arsenal the Scar and then take the damage on the flip side, so it really didn't matter. But this just makes it convenient, to be honest. So 5 with the Rune Chance. I do want to stop this. I don't want him to get free Rune Chance, so I'll just jam. Go about our day. I guess the question ultimately is, do we want to sync anything? And that's actually tricky here because this guarantees the embodiment for the Lightning Surge, and we definitely not getting rid of the Rabble. So I would say Blue Earth Force Surge is probably the oh, good point. Rabble would have flipped on the Gourd Tome. That would have been nasty. That happened on the stream. Oh, that's man saying. Yeah, you saw it happen. Yeah, so I think the Earth Force Surge was the dead weight, and it's even more so because it would have been on top for this Rabble. So there's that. Need to assign someone in chat to keep the count. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. We should not block it all and die. Yeah, I'd prefer not. High roll the blue. I think if we rip a blue off the Gorg Tome, we definitely do. That's a fact. Okay. Now this is interesting. I actually don't know what to do here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of tempted to pitch the Bramble Spark to play this rounds to hopefully grab an attack because we still have snaps, so we can here, there. Oh wait, this is an easy solution. We play the rabble to see what's on top. Now we know it's a swarming Gloomvale. So now we play that this round's on me because we guarantee it. Yellow rabbles also allow you to make plays like this by knowing what the top card of your deck is. Always love that. And we've made 2 auras this turn, so Swarm will be turned on. So we'll go Swarming for 7, and then instead of playing the Nimblism out for a value of 3, we will pitch it for Rosetta for a value of 4 for a little min-maxing right there. Shout out to Man Saint, man. You guys killed it in Indianapolis, and it was good that I could be a part of it. Give you guys an entertaining match for sure. That one will go down as a good one for sure. Isn't swarming just less damage? Not when it's coming in for 7. And I didn't have a fuse for the bramble. Yeah, I mean, this should get it. We don't even have to use our snaps, so we can't really brick. Then top 8 happened. Yeah. It was good while it lasted, right? It was good while it lasted. Oh yeah, 2 cards to do 7, but give them a card is for correct. But I didn't have a fuse for the bramble, so the bramble was only worth 1, and we're still swinging Rosetta, which will get the last card or creepers, and then we basically just win the game off of Arcane. I guess you're saying I could have played the okay, Nimblism and Rosetta. I think you're right. I think I missed 2 damage there. Good catch. Good catch. Okay, and here we just win. All right. Ooh, we did it. How long have we been going? 3 hours? 3.5? Okay. All right. So that's all the games we're going to play. But if you guys have any questions, I'm all ears for the next 10, 15 minutes. We can talk about whatever. Doesn't even have to be about the card counting, just whatever. If you guys have any questions about anything, I am all ears before we close this out. Once again, thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, this is my first time streaming ever. I enjoy it. I hope you guys get a lot out of it. And if you don't mind, give me some feedback and how I can make it even better. would be great. What's our record on the night? You've won every game I've seen. The Bolton one we lost on the weird deck. But the Katsu one we lost because we let the whelming hit because I wasn't mindful of the Gusway or the Katsu trigger, and then because we pitched the wrong card against Icelander. But other than that, they would have been pretty. Two of them would have been very. If I would have played 100%, we would have lost one against Bolton with the jank deck. We would have won 100% with the CMH Briar. But yep, one mistake each game cost me. That's what happens. Take ownership of it, and that's what it is. Anything else? The only thing to make it better would be to stream more often. Yeah, what about the time? Is the time good? I just kind of went with one. I just kind of went with like what I thought. I tried to like think of West Coast and East Coast and like what would work for most people. And Wednesday, there's probably not like a ton of armories. There's probably some, but like I tried to like. Great stream. One suggestion would be to bring the spicy briars sometimes to test changes. Absolutely. I'm always. I love building decks, even if they're bad. Not saying that that one is. I'm just saying that I have to get the math right on it. And math has to be perfect on it for it to increase the consistency on it. And yeah, I'm just gonna work on that and not give up. But Axis Dory is there. It is. All I'm doing is working on like a couple of sideboard cards and like trying to shore up a couple matchups. But like it's there and it is good. Let me tell you. We're undefeated if we don't count the losses. That is a fact, and that's also a great mentality as well. Great stream. Yep. What hero do you most want to dishonor? Man. No Phoenix Flames? That'd be cool. That stuff's pretty annoying, right? No Phoenix Flames? No. I mean, there's so many good targets, right? No Intimidates from Ryanar. You got Briar can't make an embodiment. Oh my goodness. There's just so much. So much. Dishonor will be an interesting card. I think it'll be traded as a upgrade from Fine Center. That'll basically be cool if it happens. It's not something that you'll build around or that you'll play to in most matches, but like if it happens, cool. And then certain heroes will basically have to always play around it. If you play the what is it, Bond of Ancestry, whatever the card is, if you play that, they basically have to say, I gotta let that hit because I have to have the armor for the last card. And that's also why these cards will not be played in Fi. It's because of the inability to search the other pieces. Combo cards in Fi just are not gonna work. Just kill Levia. Yeah, you can't turn it off. That's for sure. Absolutely. Dishonor Kano. Yeah. Absolutely. We'll probably, for those of you wondering, I probably will be at the Battle Hard in Charlotte. Looks like some of the team is going to travel up there and play there. I'm undecided on. Right now I'm at like a 50-50 chance on whether I'm bringing some version of standard CMH Briar or Axis Dory. I'll be playing one of the two. It just depends on whether I can get the testing in fast enough for the Axis Dory for the right matchups. And to determine which one I bring. But they're close. They're close. The Axis door is really that good. Icelander would not bother you on your turn. That's true. Yep. It's gonna miss Blood Debt anyway. Oh man, that's happened so many times. There's been so many Levia games that I'll play and just literally realize that the best out is literally to just keep blocking and wait for that hand, and then just deal 10 damage out of nowhere. It's not always the play, but there's the two one-handed axe. Yes, the body of mind and body of or axe of body and axe of mind, I think is what they're called. Yeah, the new one is probably one of the worst fab cards ever printed, right up there with like Blue Sigil and stuff like that. So far, I mean, obviously things can change, right? But like Cleave and like those cards aren't good enough to warrant like playing that axe. It just isn't. So if I'm gonna pay 3 resources to swing a weapon, I'm just gonna play Guardian. Well, all right, guys. I guess that's going to conclude the stream. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Now that I've got everything set up, we are 100% going to be doing this more often. One thing I would also like to do is I like to play games with people that are interacting in the chat. So maybe I can come up with some way of like lining up matches. I think that would be cool. And then like talk about it, after the match and kind of like, not necessarily like coaching, but like something like that, just something to be more interactive. And I'm just here to give viewers as much value as possible. I love playing Fab, and I can do that whether I'm showing other people me playing Fab or not. But the main reason for the stream is I'm just trying to add value to other players. And if I can do that in a better way, I'm all ears. If anybody has any ideas on how we can help accomplish that, I would love to hear it. But hope everybody has a good night. And we will save it for next time. And thank you for joining, and take care.